moment too. The president said to Fox earlier today that he doesn't believe the new Ayatollah can live in peace. He made a variety of comments suggesting that he should be involved in picking the new Iranian leader. Is the ending of this war also contingent on Iran selecting a leader that the president finds acceptable? And if so, how is that not the definition of a regime change war?
Look, as President Trump has blatantly and frankly stated, it's obviously within the best interest of the United States.
Hold on. This question just flipped the entire briefing. The reporter basically asks the one thing everyone watching is thinking. If Iran has to choose a leader acceptable to the U.S. president, isn't that literally regime change? That's a massive accusation in a press room. And you can feel the tension immediately because the spokesperson suddenly starts pivoting instead of answering directly.
We have objectives that we have laid out that the commander-in-chief wants to see achieved. When they are achieved, then it will ultimately be up to the president to end this operation.
Okay, so I think you're not exactly addressing my question, though. Is that political objective also necessary for the president to decide to end this war?
And there it is, the moment the reporter calls it out directly. This almost never happens this bluntly in briefings. He basically tells the White House spokesperson, "You dodged the question." Now the room gets uncomfortable because everyone knows the follow-up is coming.
I just told you the objectives of Operation Epic Fury. When those objectives are met, the president will dictate the end of these operations when he deems that Iran no longer poses a credible threat to the United States of America. And again, it goes back to what does that unconditional surrender look like? Iran can talk all they want, and their words will be very empty when we've completely annihilated their navy as we are doing, when we've taken out the threat of their ballistic missile capability, when we can firmly, finally ensure that they can no longer make a nuclear bomb to threaten the United States and our allies and our troops in the region. And that's what President Trump is ultimately seeking to do with respect to this operation.
Now listen carefully, because this answer reveals the real military objective. Instead of talking about diplomacy, the spokesperson starts listing what unconditional surrender means: destroying Iran's navy, eliminating ballistic missiles, and making sure they can never build a nuclear weapon. That's not a small goal. That's basically dismantling a country's entire military capability. And when governments start defining victory like that, it usually means a much bigger conflict than people expected at the beginning.
This in the last briefing. This was a feeling the president had based on facts provided to him by his top negotiators who had been engaged with the Iranian regime in a good faith effort. The Iranian regime was lying, deceiving the United States of America, clearly trying to continue their nuclear program to create a bomb that would of course threaten the United States of America.
Now this is where the briefing turns into pure tension. The reporter presses the administration on the biggest justification for the strike, the claim that Iran was about to attack U.S. targets within days. But here's the key issue. The reporter asks where that information actually came from. Intelligence? Allies? Military reports? Because if that claim isn't clearly backed up, it becomes the entire foundation for a war decision. And the spokesperson insists the president had facts and intelligence. But notice something. No specific evidence is presented in that moment. That's why this exchange matters so much. It's the exact point where journalists try to force transparency in real time during a global crisis.